Hey guys, Hybrid here, and I haven't made a video in a while. CJ hasn't made a video in a while either. CJ's computer broke, so that's why we haven't made a comic book versus. And I've just been really busy between work and I do track and field, and that obviously started. So it's just been a really busy time. I do apologize for that. I do feel really bad actually about not making videos lately because we've had a bunch of videos like ready to go and scheduled to come out, and just due to time constraints we haven't been able to actually make those videos, so it really sucks. But anyways, on to the topic of this video. I thought I'd make a video because I have a little bit of time right now before I have to get ready for work. But yeah, Batman vs Superman and Captain America 3 reportedly are going to have the same release date, which is May 6th, 2016. And a lot of people are mad at Marvel, a lot of people are mad at DC. People are mad at DC for moving into that spot when, Marvel already announced they're going to have a movie in that spot before it was announced Captain America 3 and, all that stuff. And people are mad at Marvel because Marvel is being, I guess, stubborn and not moving. Now, my personal opinion on this is I don't think Marvel should have to move because Marvel has, in the past, always had a movie early May. I believe last early May's movie was Iron Man 3. And then, obviously the year before that, it was Avengers. So, it makes sense. Plus, they announced this like months ago. In DC's case, I can understand why they move it to May, because that's a really good, business time. Except for really not right now, because all the Marvel movies are bound to bring in a lot of money. And by opening Batman vs. Superman around that time, that kind of reduces the amount of money your movie is most likely going to make. Because you really do split audience between Batman vs. Superman and Captain America 3. And I know this because I work at the movies. So I know for a fact if you have both your movies opening the same day, they're both, for example, I work at Regal. They're going to fight for the RPX, Regal Premium Experience. Most likely Marvel's going to win that because Marvel has been releasing the movies in 3D for a long time, and RPX usually comes with a 3D. And also it's a much more expensive ticket. So you're going to be fighting for theater, screens, and that's not good because that really shortens the amount of, showings you can do. And also, the movie theaters have to play more than just 2 movies. So any other movies that came out late April, that they're probably going to still be in there. And then obviously you always have kids movies in the summer. That needs room. And especially if a movie studio is trying to promote their products, which I'm sure, Regal is going to have promotional cups and promotional tubs for Batman vs. Superman and for Captain America also. It's just bound to happen. They're really annoying, actually, believe it or not, because the way the cups are made are a bit different than normal. But yeah, it's bound to happen. So I know from working at a movie theater, that standpoint, this is really stupid because it's just both companies are being inhibited from being the best they could be, profit-wise and showing-wise, etc. Also, this is pretty bad because a lot of people are just jumping the gun and saying Batman vs. Superman or Man of Steel 2. We don't even know what officially it's called yet because producers have called it both. That movie, first off, doesn't have an official title yet, which obviously Captain America 3 doesn't either. But this movie has gotten a lot of negative press. And one thing a lot of people seem to forget is that the keys to movies being successful is about, I'd say, 60% name value and promotion and stuff like that, and the rest of it is all word of mouth. Now, one thing Captain America 2 and Captain America 3 in return really has going for it is the positive word of mouth that Avengers had, the positive word of mouth that Captain America 2 is currently getting from early screenings. Now, the sad thing for Batman vs. Superman is that it's been getting a lot of negative, more negative than positive stuff, like the reactions to Jesse Eisenberg being cast, the reactions to Ben Affleck being cast, while they are to be expected, because it's, kind of usual, it's pretty bad. Bad in the sense where it's negative, and people, when you say something negative about something, it deters people from it instead of encouraging them to it. It's just simple psychology. Just like you say, oh, this, popcorn's really hot, wait a little bit, versus, oh, here's your popcorn. Like that, this little addition to it, that little negative addition, makes people a little bit more hesitant to eat the popcorn, at least initially, until it's kind of cooled down. Now, the thing with Captain America 3, though, is a lot of people say Captain America won't be able to put up a good competition and it's just going to be killed. That is highly incorrect. Look at Iron Man 3. And the reason I use Iron Man 3 is because before the Iron Man movie, Iron Man wasn't that well known of a property that Marvel had. Like, people didn't know about Iron Man, obviously. He still was in storylines in Marvel, and he had great character moments, but he wasn't as big as he is now. Same thing with Captain America. Captain America has been around for a very long time. He's a very symbolic hero. You can never take that away from him, especially because his name's Captain America. But he's getting a lot of exposure as of recently. Obviously, he was in the Captain America First Avenger movie. Then he was in Avengers. He's going to have this movie, which so far, like I said, is getting really positive feedback. So people that don't like comic book movies in general are going to go see this movie just due to hearing people talk so highly about it. And that's going to, build Captain America's character up. They have Avengers 2. And a lot of people are going to go see Avengers 2, obviously. And right off the bat, 1 year later off Avengers 2, what's coming out? Captain America 3. So as you can see, the character's hype is going to be built up quite a bit. Just like Iron Man 3 came out a year after Avengers, and undoubtedly that helped that movie. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a movie expert. I'm more of like an wannabe expert in movies, I guess. And I say that jokingly because, I do know quite a bit about, how the movie business works from working at the movies. I've talked to people at corporate and stuff, because they come and visit us. So I kind of know what I'm talking about, I guess, maybe more than some other people would, because a lot of people obviously don't work at movies because it's not the greatest job. But yeah, that's really important. Word of mouth is the biggest factor. Actually, this previous weekend, we saw that with Need for Speed. Need for Speed didn't get the best reviews. We opened it in 4 theaters. None of the theaters filled up. And that wasn't to be expected until, those reviews came in. And, people can't come up to us. They ask. If you work at Ticket Drop, you work at Box Office, they'll ask you, was this movie good? And if you don't say yes, they will walk away or they'll go see another movie unless you don't suggest them one. So what I'm saying here is, while Batman vs. Superman, name value-wise, will beat Captain America 3, most likely, it's just because it's Batman and Superman, that name value is highly up there. They have to keep that name. They can't say Batman vs. Man of Steel. They can't say Dark Knight vs. Man of Steel. That won't work. But if they do keep Batman vs. Superman, and they add Wonder Woman to it, possibly, that name value, let alone, will beat Captain America 3. That's that's just undoubtedly just due to the popularity of those two characters. But I think when you have to look at the longevity of the films, unless Man of Steel 2, Batman vs. Superman, whatever they call it, unless that movie is really good, which, hopefully we want a good comic book movie. No one wants a bad comic book movie. That's not good for anybody. But if you do that, right, if that movie is good, the longevity of it will carry it to higher heights. But, for example, Captain America 3. Let's say that doesn't, premiere with as high of a box office as, Batman vs. Superman. Longevity-wise, it could be in theaters longer than Batman vs. Superman, and thus make more money. Now, it's not about the money, though. It's really about the reviews, the quality of the film. And honestly, I think that's a big issue WB might have, because a lot is riding on this for WB. And that's really important, because, and a lot of people are saying this is WB's shared universe. Let me correct you by saying it's not a shared universe yet, unless it's sharing a universe with another film. Just because you have characters in that film does not mean it's a shared universe. That's totally different. CW has a shared universe because they have The Flash and Arrow. So there's a big difference between, what people are saying are shared universes, like shared universe. Marvel has a shared universe because they're sharing it with different films. So, just so you know that. But anyways, yeah, a lot's riding on this for DC's potential shared universe if they make more films within this, universe, obviously. While Marvel doesn't have anything to lose. They only have stuff to win. And I say that because they're good. After Avengers, Marvel, as you can tell by them doing properties kind of risky like Guardians of the Galaxy, they don't have a problem. And that's one reason why Warner Brothers DC is probably doing this, is because if you do pull off a movie like this, Batman vs. Superman, your universe isn't cemented, but you save yourself so much time that you can just branch out. Because, they basically just killed making a Batman movie and killed making a Wonder Woman movie for right now. At least, they saved themselves some time and they can just go off and do other things for right now. So, sorry, my cat just jumped on the table. I hope you guys didn't hear that. But anyways, yeah, this is hybrid. Just wanted to get my thoughts out there. So I guess to kind of wrap it up, Batman vs Superman versus Captain America 3. Who do I think should move? I think honestly Warner Brothers should move just due to the fact that they don't usually have that spot, and most people don't really relate their movies over there. Usually they're June, July. Actually, they are June, July usually for the summer releases. They've never released a movie in May, at least not in recent memory. So this is pretty unusual for them, I'd say, and a lot of people it's going to catch them off guard. And at the same time, everybody knows Marvel movies are going to be out in May. So I just think it's really bad business practice, like I said earlier, to do something like this. Now, yeah, who do I think is going to do better? I think, honestly, longevity-wise, Captain America 3 might do better in regards to like box office and stuff like that, because Disney knows how to promote their stuff, first off. Everyone's going to know when this movie's coming out, especially if it's competing against Batman vs. Superman. Like, Disney's not going to pull back, and last time I checked, Disney owns about everything. So this will be everywhere. Also, they're really big on the 3D, and movie companies love it when, movie people decide, hey, let's release it in 3D. WB, on the other hand, at least with the Dark Knight films and stuff like that, they weren't too big on the 3D. I'm not saying they won't release in 3D. I think Man of Steel did release in 3D, but Disney owns Marvel. Disney is really big on 3D, real D 3D. You're not gonna like I said, the RPX, IMAX 3D theaters. You're not gonna beat Marvel, or you're not gonna beat Disney. In regards to having that, they're gonna take every 3D theater they can have. So I really think that Man of Steel 2, Batman vs Superman might open up bigger due to name value, but unless the movie's quality is top notch, Marvel has a high chance of beating it in the long run, like after 3-4 weeks of being out. But this movie is 2 years away, so anything is really in the air still. The only thing I think Marvel has currently going for them more right now at this moment is the fact that Captain America 2 has better word of mouth. Avengers 2 is going to be going 1 year after Captain America 3, really helping building up Captain America's hype. And honestly, they already have the writer. Chris Evans said that they already have the story in mind. There's a lot already gone into this without even it being made yet. Versus Batman vs Superman, which has been reportedly having issues, as in the script's not really ready and stuff like that. So really, we don't know until we see it. But I want both movies to be good. I do hope though they don't release as close as the same day or 2 weeks. I think they should have at least 4 weeks apart, just for good business sake. But yeah, this is hybrid. Comment below what your guys' thoughts. How do you guys feel about this? Who do you want to release first? Who do you want to release last? Who do you hope does better? Who do you think will do better? And I'll see you guys later. Hopefully, character bios on Monday. It's going to be Batman of Earth 2. I'm just going to spoil that now because the rest of this month is going to be Golden Age month, with Golden Age characters featured prominently in Earth 2 and also Marvel's Golden Age. And just so you know, the reason why I'm doing Batman of Earth 2 is because he's practically New 52 Hour Man. And we'll get more into that in his bios. So I'll see you guys later.